Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Again, here I just want to share a revelation that I have had this morning when I'm doing my devotion. Today is the 23rd of March, 2021. As I was reading Exodus 31, it struck me is that so often that we try so much in terms of striving to gain understanding. And when we are stuck with a problem, maybe a project, or maybe something that you're working on for a long time, and yet you have not gotten any solution. Have you thought of asking God for his wisdom? Exodus 31 talk about the travels of the Israelites through the wilderness. And these are a band of people that have been under slavery in Egypt for more than 400 years. And all the time they have been slaves under the Pharaoh after Joseph have gone to glory. And they were not given any teachings, and they were just made to make bricks out of straw to build monuments for Pharaoh. And henceforth, when they arrived at Mount Sinai, and God told them through Moses to build a tabernacle for him and all the articles that are in it. So where do they get that wisdom to build all this wonderful covering for the tent of Moses and all the articles like the menorah, the table of showbread, the incense, and also the altar? But then here it is in chapter 31. It is God who gave two men, a man from the tribe of Judah, which is praise, and another man from the tribe of Dan. He gave Bezalel from the tribe of Judah and also Elohab from the tribe of Dan, recorded in chapter 31, verse 2 and also verse 6. And what did God give them? God gave them the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in all manner of workmanship. And they devised cunning works to work in gold and in silver and in brass, verse 4. And verse 5, and in cutting of stones to set them, and in the carvings of timber to work in all manners of workmanship. Have you ever thought of this? That when we ask God for the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, he will give it to you because our Abba Father loves us. So much so that Jesus mentioned that even an evil father, when the son asked him for bread, you think he will give him stone? He will give him bread, of course. And that is the innate love that we as father has for our sons. And of course, our daughters. But so much more so our Abba Father. When you ask him, he will give you the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And you will be able to accomplish the project that your bosses have given to you, or the invention that you have been brooding to discover the mysteries. So henceforth today, always ask. Jesus says, ask and you shall receive. And here, the other thing that I want to talk about is that after the giving of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to these two men, to Bezalel and also to Ahobab, then the verses follow. We say that God says it is a commandment to keep Shabbat holy. Now, what is Shabbat? Shabbat is a day of rest from works. So again, we want to talk about the law of first mention. And I searched the Bible and look at where did the word work appear first in the Bible. And I want to refer you to Genesis, the very beginning in chapter 2, where it describes God has completed all the 6 days of creation. And chapter 2, verse 2 says, and on the seventh day, chapter 2 of Genesis, verse 2, and on the seventh day, God ended his work, first mentioned, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work which he had done. So what did God do in the 6 days of creation? And those things that he did, put the suns and stars in the heavens, created the earth, divided the waters, created the animals, and finally created us in his image and in his likeness. And those are works that God defines. So to my understanding is work is something that you do in your creativity or you do in terms of making things happen. And of course, then the question then is preaching the gospel works? Is teaching the word of God works? So on my understanding in terms of the 6 days of creation, those are not work. Those are in rest with the Lord. When we teach the gospel, when we teach, when we talk about the love of God that we have for him, that is praising him. And here I want to refer to you the commandments and the blessing that comes from keeping the Shabbat, which appear in Isaiah 58, verse 13 to 14. And let me read it to you. I think it is so inspiring. And we can then understand that when we keep Shabbat holy, which is sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, and we keep Shabbat holy and not do the work that we do in terms of creating objects or making things happen, but just be in commune with him and to read his word, to teach his word, and to enjoy the blessing he has given us, to go and take a nature walk, to listen to the birds and chirping on the tree, and to feel the gentle breeze of the wind and enjoy the sunlight. And I think that is the wonderful way of spending Shabbat with the Lord. And here I want to read Isaiah 58, verse 13 to 14. If you turn away your foot from the Shabbat, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, the pleasure that I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy day of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. So here I want to emphasize. Verse 13 says, if you turn away your foot from the Shabbat, from doing your pleasure on the holy day, that means doing things that you enjoy yourself, but now doing things that God enjoys with you. And verse 14, he says, then this is where the reward comes. Then you shall delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the high hills of the earth. God say that. He will cause you to ride on the high hills of the earth and feed you with the heritage of Jacob, your father. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. So I believe that in Isaiah 58, verse 13 to 14, describe to us the blessing that we can receive from Abba Father, from keeping his shepherd rest. So this morning devotion, I just want to summarize with 2 key learning points. The first thing is that ask God for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And therefore, your projects that you do and the inventions that is really waiting to be birthed forth will be realized in your very eyes. And the second thing is the importance of being in rest with the Lord. In rest with the Lord, it means do not do the work yourself, which is a description of how God worked from day 1 of creation to day 6 of creation. Everything that encompasses of what God has done is what is defined as work, being the first mentioned. And then 4, rest in the Lord, enjoying his creation, the works that God has done for you and I, and be in Shabbat rest. And don't forget, teaching the word of God, sharing the word of God is to please him. And that is not your work, but the work that God has given us to do. So with that, I want to bless you. And I hope that you get some glimpse of it from this morning devotion, which I have gotten while I was meditating on his word. And so goodbye and shalom, and see you some other time. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe by pressing this button below. You'll be the first to be informed of any posting that I make. Shalom, goodbye.